Edgeworks Nebula.
If you want to get in touch with us on social media, just look us up. Instagram and TikTok at scientific.melody.
And if you aren't on social media, hey, not all of us are. Feel free to text or call our hotline with your burning questions or comments at 760-523-0808 or Molly and Max at thescientificmelody.com.
Hey, Molly.
Hey, Max.
How you doing?
Oh, never better, never
Ooh,
better.
Good answer.
Thank you.
I am very excited to teach you about this today. I hope you're just as excited to learn.
Oh, my goodness. I am so excited. It's my favorite part to guess. Okay, but time out.
Yes.
On a scale 1 to 10, how excited are you?
35.
Without hesitation. I was only going to say 10. So
I know.
I got to
Well, those were the rules, and I broke them. Okay, first clue of today's topic. They can travel up to 17,500 miles an hour.
Oh, my land.
That's fast.
That's like faster than when I ride my bike down to the beach.
You ride your bike that fast? No way.
No, I
your
said
skin
that's
would fall off.
faster. Yeah. No. One time it almost happened. No.
That's not true.
That's not true at all. Okay, I think this is an animal of some sort. So that's going to be my first.
That's a crazy animal. Second clue. This topic, they are unique because they have their own oxygen supply. Whoa! Spooky!
But it's not an animal.
Definitely not an animal.
What? But they have their own oxygen supply. It's like a spaceship.
Exactly. No, it's not. It's not a spaceship. No, it's not. Sorry, that was misleading. It's not a spaceship. Okay. Are you ready for the third and final clue?
I'm ready.
Today's topic. One of the very first of these was invented back in the 1200s.
What? A
Crazy,
stone?
right?
A stone's throw away?
Yeah, a stone's throw. Great
has
guess,
its own
Molly.
oxygen. Okay, this has to be like an ocean wave. I don't know.
Oh, that's actually like a good... It's not at all correct, but it's a pretty good guess.
You think?
It's just a good guess based on the clues,
guess.
I guess.
I guess,
I don't think ocean waves go 17,000 miles an hour. But,
and I'm pretty sure they're around longer than what you're talking about.
We're going to talk about rockets today.
It's the scientific melody. It's the scientific melody. Scientific melody with Molly and Max.
Rockets. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because now I'm so excited. Is a spaceship and a rocket ship are not the same?
They are technically the same.
Okay. Do people ride in one and not the other?
So spaceships would be powered by rockets. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll get into the reason why, because it's actually pretty interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears right now because I don't have anything but just an open brain.
Oh,
like a
open up
sponge
your
ready to
brain,
absorb.
kids. Get ready for some learning. Ugh, that was a
I
weird
was
sound.
cranking it. I meant to crank, but then it sounded like I was just slicing.
Yeah, that's gross. Okay, rockets. The Chinese invented the rocket way back in the 1200s by filling shoots of bamboo with gunpowder. Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy.
Then they took that idea, and that's how they invented fireworks. So the original fireworks were essentially rockets. How crazy is that?
Very
Makes sense.
crazy.
Because a rocket, it's a bottle rocket. That's a firework.
Yeah.
To this day, that's still a firework.
To this day, scares me. I am not a firework fan.
So the first fireworks were actually technically rockets. That's how the rocket was invented. So moving forward several hundred years, in the late 1800s, Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. I'm going to try that again. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. That's pretty good, right?
Did you do a Google pronunciation before we hopped on this?
I did, yeah. I did.
Okay, good.
So it is. That's how you say his last name. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
I actually spelt it out, so it's Tsiolkovsky.
I do that same
Tsiolkovsky.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
do that. Yep.
So in the late
onomatopoeia.
1800s, Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky first had the idea that we could actually potentially use these rockets to fly into outer space. Now,
What?
he didn't build any rockets, unfortunately, because his rockets in the 1800s would have been baller. Just sticks and rocks and gunpowder, and
Sticks
it would have
and-
been a nightmare.
Yeah, it would have just
But-
combusted up there, yeah? It just
Oh,
would've
it
been
wouldn't
like,
have even
"See
made
ya."
it. It wouldn't
Yeah,
have even
yeah, yeah.
made it. He
Yeah.
didn't have the tools, but he
didn't
had
have the
the
tools.
idea.
Yes.
He had the idea.
So we'll give him 10 points.
10 points to Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
Tsiolkovsky.
That's a terrible Russian accent. I apologize on behalf
I'm
of
copying
the people
yours,
of
but
Russia.
times 10
Yeah.
worse.
So the cool thing, though, is that we took his ideas, and then later on, another couple hundred years, so now we're in 1925, and U.S. engineer Robert Goddard, I don't know how to say his last name.
Goddard. 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 Goddard, mate.
Goddard. My eyes.
Goddard.
U.S.
Robert.
U.S. engineer Robert Goddard.
Goddard.
In 1925, U.S. engineer Robert H. Goddard built the first liquid-fueled rocket. How cool is that?
That is so cool. But what was the liquid?
Exactly. This is almost 100 years ago. The liquid was actually like fuel, like gasoline. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Rocket fuel, some would say.
I was going to say.
So I know the question on your mind, Molly. The pressing question.
Yes. You know exactly what I'm
I
going
know
to ask
exactly.
you.
Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah.
What is a rocket?
What is it? I know it's in that song about a red glare. What is it? What in the heck is it?
So, rockets are devices that produce the force or push needed to move an object forward. So, rockets are used to launch spacecrafts, to launch satellites, and they're also used in things like fireworks.
Hey, you know what? I wish I could hire a rocket to launch me out of bed in the morning. Am I right? Wait. Yes. I get
There's
tired.
not enough fuel in the world.
Oh, wah, wah.
So 300 years ago, you may recognize this guy, this old brainiac, Sir Isaac Newton. He actually
yes.
discovered and explained how things move when he came up with the idea that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And this is the primary principle behind rockets.
What would that principle be called? Newton's
Theory.
Law.
Is that what that's called?
I think it's Newton's law.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to pause for a second because we got to look that up.
It's Newton's law of motion.
Oh, cool.
So it's the Newton's third law of motion.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Blink.
You know what that is?
What's that? A new wrinkle on my brain. Yeah.
We got there. Okay, so we launch things into space, like ships and satellites, by strapping them to rockets with enough fuel, also
Wow.
called propellants, that's a
Wow.
fun word, to lift them up above Earth's atmosphere.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
You know the sports drink Propel?
I do know that sports drink.
And it's just supposed to get your body moving and in
Man,
action.
that's a real niche reference.
Right?
So the cool thing is that the rockets actually have these big chambers that are a part of the rocket, and the chambers are full of these propellants or fuel. And what happens is the fuel burns when it's combined with oxygen and then ignited or set on fire.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow,
All of that
that
happens
is
literally
crazy.
on the rocket.
Wow, that's like when you get a tank of gas for your grill, like a propane tank, and they're like, "Hey, whatever you do, don't keep it in a hot car."
Is that what they say?
They say that because
That's so scary.
yeah. Yeah.
So I know another pressing question on your mind, Molly.
I knew it's like, are you in there? Can you read what I'm thinking about right now?
I'm in the brain, and I'm gonna predict the pressing
I'm going to
question.
challenge you to guess what I'm
Here we
thinking.
go. The guess is, so what's the difference between a rocket and like a jet, like an airplane?
Yeah, because they go fast too.
Yeah, and they also use force, and they also go fast, and they shoot into the sky. So the main difference between like a jet engine on a normal airplane and a rocket is that a jet engine takes in oxygen from outside. It uses the oxygen from the air to go through that combustion process to push the fire out to move the thing. Rockets actually have their own internal oxygen supply, which is why rockets work in space. Because there's no oxygen in space. So rockets have their own oxygen supply, so they can still propel things in space where there is no oxygen.
So you're telling me that my Southwest Flight 847 did not have rockets on it?
No, it did not.
Okay, it just had jet. It was taking in oxygen to get its little boost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I was going to
figure it
say,
out,
I almost
Southwest.
was able to scratch something off my bucket list, but I still have to hold it.
Unfortunately, you cannot. Yeah,
I
unfortunately,
cannot.
you cannot.
Okay.
So now, Molly, have you ever watched like a NASA launch, like an actual rocket
Max,
ship launch?
Do you want to know something funny? I've only ever watched it via a movie.
So no.
No, no, I haven't. Unless we're talking like Air Force
You've
One.
never
or
watched like a SpaceX launch or anything?
I don't
They're
think.
so
You know
cool.
what? I think I watched like the pregame of it, but I never really. You know,
It's
like
the
they're
weirdest
talking.
pregame to ever watch.
I
Nothing
never
is
stuck
going
around
on.
for the launch.
Oh my gosh, that's really funny. Well, if you have watched a NASA launch, you've probably noticed all of the smoke and steam that shoots out of the bottom. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think all of that is called? I
think that's called combustion.
That's not a bad guess. It's wrong. It's called exhaust. Makes sense, right?
Oh, I'm exhausted. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Those rockets are going to be exhausted after they shoot all that smoke and gas out of their butts.
And don't we know it?
So exhaust is when the propellants are burning, and that's what lifts the rocket up into the air. So all that smoke and steam that you see coming out of the rocket, that's actually the propellants being burned in those big chambers, which is what pushes the rocket into the air.
This is amazing what like air and gases can do. Isn't that amazing?
Wild.
Like I
Yeah.
always think about that when I'm using my air fryer, and I'm like, it says whatever you do, don't put your face around here when you're like opening it because you don't know it, and it could literally just up into the air.
I'm a little concerned, Molly, that all of your references are when things are telling you don't do certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Certain stuff, yeah. Well, it's a good thing I never tried it
You
because
just gotta ask your parents first.
True, ask
Molly,
your parents
I'm talking
first.
to you.
Oh, I should call my mom and ask her for sure.
I have another vocabulary pop quiz for you. Are you ready?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So when the rocket burns the fuel or the propellants, and it shoots the exhaust out, all that smoke and steam, it creates an upward force. What's that upward force called?
Inertia.
Molly?
Inertia.
No, another good guess, but it's also wrong. You're 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's called thrust.
Wow. Wow.
So to launch something, a rocket needs enough fuel so that the thrust pushing the rocket into the air is greater than the force of gravity trying to pull the rocket back down to Earth.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
can't believe that. I didn't know thrust was such a scientific term, but now
I know.
I'm going to use it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You have my permission as a certified
Next
science
time I move my
person.
couch, I'm going to say, hey, we need to provide enough thrust.
You need more thrust!
I need more thrust and throttle.
Oh
Is
my
throttle
gosh.
one of the words I get a guess?
Nope.
Nope, just thrust.
Yep. All the words, we're done guessing words.
Oh,
That
we're
was
done
it.
guessing words. Do you just
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't
stay
have
on
any more
later,
for
though,
you.
and just have, I'll
Sure.
just guess what you're thinking?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
That sounds
okay.
that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Hey, Molly, get this.
What? What?
In order for a rocket to fly above the Earth's atmosphere and make sure it doesn't get pulled back down to Earth, it needs to reach at least 17,800 miles per hour.
I mean, here's my question.
Isn't that crazy?
Who sat around and figured that out?
I know.
Scientists. We
Yeah.
got to trust them. We got to believe in them. But wow, what a lot of
Math.
I mean, I can't even figure out how much
It's
I owe
honestly,
for tips.
it's so much math that that's probably why you and I did not
Don't.
become rocket scientists.
Yeah, that's why your last name is not Goddard and mine is not Swarovski.
Sokovsky.
Sokovsky.
And that's rockets.
And that's rockets. Wow, 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 wow. I got a new wrinkle on my brain. Yeah.
That's so good.
17,500 miles per hour, they propel up into space with such great power. They have their own oxygen supply that helps them get up into the sky. It was the 1200s when the Chinese had a great thought. It was to build the world's very first rocket. They put gunpowder in bamboo shoots. That's how we got the idea for fireworks too. It's a rocket. It's a rocket. It's a rocket. Yeah. It's a rocket. Yeah. It's a rocket. Yeah, yeah. It's a rocket. Then in the 1800s, Sikorsky thought, man, I sure love those rockets a lot. If only we could shoot one way up into space. And then in 1925, Goddard from the USA built the first liquid-fueled rocket that we still use today. So now rockets can propel things into space, like spaceships and other vehicles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty darn cool. What an awesome tool. Now I think I got it, what it means to be a rocket.
Edgeworks Nebula.